he's a monster. And he thinks he's above all of us in a way. She was murdered by these guys, and they kept her things as trophies.
This is Dellen Millard, a millionaire and a serial killer. He looks like the kind of guy who's used to steering every room he walks into, confident, polished, almost amused by the idea that anyone would question him. But Millard isn't here because of some small mistake. He's a Toronto area man who would later be convicted of 3 separate murders: Tim Bosma, Laura Babcock, and his own father, Wayne Millard. Tim Bosma is the case that blew the doors off. On May 6, 2013, Bosma left home to meet 2 strangers who wanted to test drive the pickup he was selling online. They showed up on foot, acted normal, and Bosma climbed in thinking he'd be back in minutes. He never returned. Police followed the trail from a burner phone used to set up the test drive, and they learned that same phone had been arranging other similar test drives in the days before. A witness also described a boxed ambition tattoo on one man's wrist, a detail police released to identify him. Within days, Millard was arrested, and Bosma's truck was found inside a trailer at Millard's mother's home. Then comes the part investigators say ties the whole thing together: the hangar and the incinerator. The Crown's case was that Bosma was shot during the test drive, taken to a hangar connected to Millard's aviation business, and his body was burned in an animal incinerator there. Laura Babcock's disappearance is earlier and colder. She was last seen in July 2012, her remains were never recovered, and prosecutors later argued her killing was linked to Millard and the same circle of evidence around that hangar. Wayne Millard's death was the clean story at first, found dead on November 29, 2012 and treated as a suicide, until investigators reopened it after the other murders and Millard was convicted of killing his father too. And now, we are off to the interrogation. Detectives don't need to rush him. They need him to talk, to pick a timeline, to commit to details, to lock himself into a story that can't survive the evidence already waiting outside this door.
Okay, today is Friday, November the 30th, 2012. The time is 1:30 a.m. I'm Detective James Hutcheon, Hutcheon, badge number 6103. With me is
Detective Johnston, Johnston, badge 5058.
And also sitting with us is Delan Millard.
That's correct.
Delan, can you spell your first name, please?
Dellen.
And your last name?
Millard, Millard.
Okay, and you also have a middle name, right?
Evan.
And spell that, please?
Evan.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, I would ask that each of you acknowledge that you understand this statement as being video and audio taped and that you consent to such a tape being made. Is that understood?
Understood.
Yep.
I understood and I consent. Dylan, there's a camera up here.
Yes.
Okay, and there's a microphone above your head.
Yes.
Okay, we're at 22 Division, which is 3699 Bloor Street West, Toronto. This statement will be taken under oath, solemn affirmation, solemn declaration, and will be videotaped. You must understand that it is a criminal offense under Section 139 and 140 of the Criminal Code to obstruct justice or to commit public mischief by making a false statement to police during an investigation. You must further understand that you may be a witness at a trial concerning the events you describe in the statement, and if at that time you recant your statement or claim it to be false, it can and will be used at that trial, and you may be liable to prosecution under Section 137 of the Criminal Code for fabricating evidence. Finally, you must understand that you are not obligated to give this statement, and if any person has by words or acts attempted to persuade you to provide it, you are to disregard those words or acts and only give the statement if you freely choose to do so. Do you understand your right to choose whether or not to make a statement?
Yes, I understand that.
Do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand the fact that this statement will be videotaped?
Yes, I do.
And do you choose then to give a statement?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. At this time, I'd ask the Commissioner of Oaths to administer the oath.
You're lucky. What's going on?
Will you be swearing on the Bible, sir?
No, I'll
No.
be...
Affirming? Okay, it's
Affirming.
MacDonald 86920, Commissioner of Oaths. So I'm just going to ask you, do you, Delan Millard, solemnly affirm that in this statement you shall tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dory. Okay, Dellen. We're here with respect to an incident that actually happened yesterday, Thursday, November 29th, 2012, at, I believe, your home at 5 Maple Gate in
Yes.
Etobicoke. And what I'd like you to do is just start from the beginning as to what happened and that brought the police into this incident.
From the beginning. Well, I don't know what happened yesterday, but today I got back to the house sometime between 6 and 6:30.
Okay, just today we're after
It's
midnight
now
now,
Friday.
so it's Friday, so
Okay.
that's why I say yesterday as far as Thursday.
The interrogation began routinely with detectives reading his rights.
All right,
Okay.
yes, I see. And so Thursday, sometime between 6 and 6:30, I got back to the house. I had been working at our family business in Waterloo. I came in through the side door. That's the door most everybody uses in the house. And I opened up the next door, which leads to the cat area of the house. It's the door from the kitchen to the hallway. And then my dog Pedo was waiting for me there. And I walked down the hallway, and I walked to my room, and I picked a sweater out of the closet. It had been a cold day. And then I was on my way back to the kitchen to make a snack, and I noticed that my father seemed to still be asleep in bed, which was odd because it was late in the afternoon. And so I poked my head in, and something didn't really seem right about the way he was laying. He was laying very stilly. And then I walked into the room, and I saw the blood on the pillow. And for a moment I had to leave the room. I actually went back to my room, and I got out my phone, and I walked back into my dad's room, and I called my mother, and I told her what I was seeing. I literally said, I'm standing in my dad's room, and there's blood all over his pillow, and he's dead. And at first, she thought I actually meant my dog Pedo, because she kept asking about his dog bed. I said, no, not the dog bed, his bed's pillow. She said, well, Pedo's not dead. Who's dead? I said, my dad. And she just started screaming on the phone. And what happened? And well, I stayed on the phone with her for a while. I went out to the front. I left the room, and I paced in the front driveway. I stayed with her on the phone for a while. And I tried to get her to take a taxi, but she insisted she drive out. And so she drove over. And I texted a friend of mine, Andrew Michalski. And I told him that something terrible had happened, and would he please come over? I didn't want to be alone. And he did. And we waited in the driveway together until my mother got there. And then she went in the house by herself for less than 10 minutes, more than 5. And she came back out, and And she pulled out her phone and she called the police. Or, well, she dialed 911. And fire truck came first, and then ambulance, and then squad cars. I talked to some of the officers. They asked me when was the last time I spoke with my father. And what time I came home that day. That's what happened yesterday.
All right. So you were in Waterloo?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you in Waterloo?
Waterloo Kitchener International Airport. We built a hangar there, a large one, and there was all kinds of mechanics there. I moved a bunch of trailers around.
Delan Millard grew up with money, the kind that comes from family businesses and old connections. His grandfather, Carl Millard, started an aviation company called Millionaire, and even though it didn't last forever, it helped build serious wealth for the family. Millard's father, Wayne, worked as a pilot, first connected to the family aviation world and later flying for Heir Canada. That's where he met Madeline Burns, a flight attendant. Delan was born in 1985, their only child, and he was raised in Toronto, Ontario, living what most people would call an upper-class life, the kind where opportunities come easy and doors open before you even knock. And early on, Millard looked like a golden kid story. In 1999, when he was just 14 years old, he reportedly set a record as the youngest person to pilot an airplane and a helicopter solo on the same day. His parents divorced when he was a teenager. At his private school, he seemed mostly normal, but classmates later described a few odd habits, including walking around eating bone-shaped dog biscuits.
We had to tidy up the floor to make it look more presentable.
Okay, so you work for the family business?
Yes, I do.
And the family business is?
It's Millard Heir, Incorporated, and it's right now being trying to be reimagined into an MRO, which is a maintenance and repair organization. And it's essentially a garage to bring airplanes, get them fixed. And a couple of years ago, we were a hangarage business on Toronto Airport, where we rent hangar space to companies. And now we're trying to get into the maintenance side of things.
So this is a new endeavor then for the company?
Yeah.
Okay. And how's that going as far as the new hangar and everything in Kitchener?
It's going. It's stressful. It's been about a year and a half of very hard work for everyone involved, and we haven't got a contract yet. So, from an accountant's standpoint, it's not going well.
How long has this business been up and running?
Well, it's
viable to start doing maintenance repair order?
We got our license about 3 weeks ago. and it's been over a year of preparation to get to that point.
What's your position in the company?
Business card doesn't have a title on it, but I think legally I'm vice president of the company.
Okay. And when did you go to Kitchener?
Got there after 11:30, but probably before 12:30, somewhere in there. Right around lunchtime.
Okay. And when did you leave Kitchener?
To come back
Yeah.
to Etobicoke. I don't know. I'm just backwards engineering the hours. If I got home around 6 to 6:30, I would have left Kitchener probably about 4:30 because I stopped in Oakville. I have a friend that comes with me to work, and I was dropping him off at home.
When was the last time you saw your dad?
2 hours ago.
Like,
In bed.
no, I mean the last time you saw him alive, sorry.
I keep wanting to say yesterday. It'd be Wednesday at about lunchtime. I was just leaving, and he was talking with Robert Kozlowski, who is our business advisor. And I stopped for a moment to put my 2 cents in. They were talking about one of our managers, John Barnes, who's been difficult to deal with lately. And I was basically saying, let's just find somebody that's easier to deal with, because he's holding us back. And my father said, what did he say to that? He said, yeah, maybe later. And then I headed out. I went to Oakville from there. Lisa, the bookkeeper, was still there when I left. And I think Robert and I left.
In 2006, when he was 21, Dellen Millard met Mark Smick. The two started hanging out a lot, mostly smoking marijuana and playing video games in Millard's basement. At first, friends said Smick seemed to look up to Millard, while Millard didn't seem that impressed by him. But over time, the friendship got tighter. By 2011, they were much closer. And the next year, Millard let Smick and Smick's girlfriend, Marlena Meneses, move into the basement suite of the family home. Around that same period, Millard also started setting up what he called missions with Smick and a few others. Late-night trips to steal things like lawnmowers and construction equipment. Later, a friend testified it wasn't because Millard needed money. He had plenty. It was about the rush.
At the same time.
Did you stay at the house Wednesday night?
Mark's house, yeah.
Oh. Is that Mark your friend?
Yeah.
That's in Oakville?
It's in Oakville. I pick him up, I drop him off. Sometimes I sleep over. And he comes to work with me in Waterloo.
And Mark's last name?
Smich. S-M-I-C-H.
And where's Mark live?
He lives in Oakville. I can't give you the exact address. I can give you a street corner.
Okay.
He lives just off of Old Abbey Lane, very near to Third Line. But his actual street isn't Old Abbey. It's another small side street, but I don't know the name of
Okay. Now, your main residence, is that 5 Maplegate?
Officially, it's 307 Riverside. I have an apartment in that building, but I've torn it all apart for renovations. So for the last year, I've lived at Maplegate with my dad.
Where's Riverside?
Very near to Bloor and Jane.
So, your mom mentioned a sixplex. Is that?
That's it.
That's a sixplex.
Yeah.
And your apartment number in 307?
Number 2.
So, do you live full time at your dad's house right now, or?
Right now, yeah.
So is Riverside, is it livable in right now, or is it?
The apartment?
Yeah.
I don't need that many amenities, so yeah, it's livable, but the washrooms aren't. The toilet works. The washrooms aren't hooked up. The walls are just sort of starting to be painted. It's getting close.
Okay. Now your dad's health. Can you tell me how his health was?
Well, he threw out his back. It's been a while now. 9 months ago, between 7 and 9 months ago. And that really, really restricted his mobility. He was bedridden for 2 or 3 months. And then recently he's been able to drive himself out to Waterloo. And he has an electric scooter there. He goes around the hangar on.
Does he have trouble getting around in the house?
Trouble as though he can't do it smoothly, or couldn't do it smoothly. It was awkward for him to walk, but he would go around the house no problem.
Okay. Any other medical problems?
What's a medical problem?
Heart, liver, lungs.
Strong heart, very strong liver. He'd have to be.
Pardon me?
I said he'd have to be.
Why?
He's always liked alcohol. He's always drank lots, and he'd have to have a strong liver.
Now, was your dad a big drinker, or a regular drinker, or an alcoholic? How would you describe him?
I don't like to say the word alcoholic, but it fits. He was a regular drinker. Like every night, and more than I could drink. But he was also a regular non-drinker. During the mornings and the days, he wouldn't drink at all. It was always just late at night.
And how much would he drink at night?
It changes over time, all the time. Before he hurt his back, he was into whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the one that's bigger than 2.6?
40?
Something like a big glass bottle like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd probably do one of those in 2 weeks of whiskey. But then when he hurt his back, he stopped drinking altogether. He actually thought that it wasn't a back problem, that it was a kidney problem related to alcohol. And then more recently, just in the last 2 months, he's taken up drinking again, and it seems to be wine more, or has been wine more. Maybe 8 to 10 of those small wine bottles a night.
Your dad, did he have any guns in the house?
In the past, he has definitely. The safe that the detectives and officers have seen tonight, he's had that safe as long as I can remember. And he's opened it in front of me maybe 3 times in my life. And he used to have handguns in it. And the last time he opened it that I saw was over 3 years ago. And it had a bunch of pistols in it then.
By the time he was 27, Millard already had it all. Several multi-million-dollar properties and a garage full of luxury sports cars. He still worked for his father, sitting in line as the heir to the Millard fortune. To a lot of people, he looked like a classic rich playboy, bouncing between different women and sometimes dating more than one at once.
But about 2 years ago, even 2 to 3 years ago, it had something to do with the gun registry that was going on. It prompted it. He said that he gave all of his guns to a fellow named Les Beatty, who at that time was working for us. He doesn't work for us anymore.
So he gave them to Les Beatty?
Mm-hmm. My understanding was that Les would take them out in the country somewhere, a friend's property or a family member's property, and just shoot them for fun.
Okay. Do you have a number for Les Beatty?
I do. Oh, no, wait. I don't have it on my phone. I never call him, but I did give it to an officer tonight because we have it's not a Rolodex, but it's our own little phone book in the house.
Okay. So your understanding was your dad didn't have any guns left?
No, I didn't think so.
Now you mentioned the safe. Do you know if there was a combination somewhere for the safe, or
His lawyer will have the combination.
the lawyer would have the combination?
I would imagine so. I don't see how he'd ever expect me to open it after his death.
All right, Trish, do you have any questions?
Did anyone else ever stay over in the house besides you? Like, anyone else ever sleep over in that house?
Sometimes Mark would sleep over at my house, and then we'd just go straight to Waterloo from there. Not recently in the last maybe 3 months, but before that, sometimes I would have parties and people would have had too much to drink to drive, so they'd just sleep over in the basement.
Okay.
That was never regular. That was sort of on just a case-by-case type of thing.
What's the whole basement set up for downstairs?
For parties.
For parties?
Yeah. We tried to make it look like a club.
Who set it up like that?
I did the interior design stuff for it. Like the paint colors and the wallpaper.
And how often would you have parties?
This year I've had 2.
Would you advertise them, or?
No. No, just friends of friends.
When was your last party again?
Somewhere in the middle of the summer. I don't know what month. When my cousins were over, and they only come in July. It's probably in July.
And what takes place? I saw there's Xbox and TVs and stuff like that set up down there.
Mm-hmm.
And drugs. There's some drugs down there.
We smoke pot.
Okay. Do you grow it?
No.
On May 6, 2013, Millard and Smeech drove to Hamilton, Ontario, after spotting a diesel truck listed online. They called the owner, Tim Bosma, and set up a test drive. When they got to Tim's home in the small community of Ancaster, they walked up to the house and were greeted by Tim's wife, Charlene. They told her a friend had dropped them off and that they only needed a quick test drive. A moment later, Tim came out and joined them. The three got into the truck and drove off. Tim told Charlene he'd be right back, but then the minutes turned into hours, and Tim still wasn't home. That's when Charlene called police and reported him missing.
And the whole hallway with the bedrooms and stuff, and the rooms set up there, what's all that for?
That's just a guest room.
Just guest rooms?
Mm-hmm. There's just the one, though. There's not guest rooms.
During that test drive, Tim Bosma was shot and killed by one of the two men. Investigators couldn't say for sure who actually pulled the trigger. Afterward, the men drove back to Millard's hangar. That's where they tried to destroy the evidence, burning Tim's body. And as police kept digging, they realized something even worse. This didn't look like Millard's first crime.
Have the police ever attended there for any of these parties?
I think a couple of years back, we had one get out of control. And we had to call the police to get people off the property.
How many people usually come?
Usually it's 20 or less. That night it was more like 300 or something. It was, somebody posted on Facebook and it just went nuts.
Doors in the house, are they usually always locked?
Yeah. Different doors have different habits. The front door is always deadbolted from the inside. The side door is a combination that locks as soon as you close it. My dad's usually pretty good about going around the house at night to make sure we have wooden stoppers in the sliding doors that lead to the back.
Okay. Your dad's sliding door wasn't locked, and there was no wooden stopper in there, and the screen wasn't locked, is that?
That's not unusual recently. He's been smoking a lot in the house recently.
Smoking in the house, or?
Yeah, he didn't used to do that a few years ago, but now he does, and now he did, and he just opened the door. And for his room, he lets the cats out there too. We have an enclosure around his bedroom sliding door. It's all fenced in. It's for the cats, so they can sort of go outside.
Okay, was your dad depressed at all?
He had depression in him. He carried some great sadness with him throughout life that I never really knew exactly what it was. He never really wanted to share it with me. It wasn't like he was always sad either.
Did he get treatment for depression?
No.
Was he under a lot of stress with this new endeavor?
Lots this year.
Was there a chance the business was going to fail? And
yeah, that chance is more than a chance.
is it still a chance, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and how soluble is your dad if the business fails?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Well, like, based on the fact that it was your grandfather's Millard Heir company, the big transportation company, sold his hangars in Toronto.
Yeah.
The house and some of his possessions, your dad had amassed a certain amount of wealth and looked like he was pretty successful. So if this business, this new endeavor, doesn't fly or it takes a longer time to get off, is your dad going to go bankrupt, or?
Yeah. Everything that we have is in this business, including loans on the house, and including a large loan from RBC Bank for the business.
The police first treated it like a normal missing person case, but from the start, they suspected something darker. When Charlene Bosma explained what happened, one detail jumped out fast. The phone used to set up the test drive wasn't a normal number. It was a burner. Then, on May 9th, Tim Bosma's deactivated cell phone was found dumped in an industrial area in nearby Brantford, and when investigators pulled the burner phone records, they learned this wasn't some random one-off. Millard and Smeech had booked 2 other test drives for similar vehicles in the days leading up to Tim's disappearance, and for one of them, they never even showed up.
We're all in.
So how long did your dad think that it should, like, the year and a half that it took to get to this point to get the license, was that longer than it should have been?
We originally projected 9 months, and it became a year. And we thought that as soon as we had the license, contracts would be coming in steadily and easily, and we haven't got a contract yet. It hasn't been that long. It's been about, like I said, 3 weeks.
On May 5th, just one day before Tim was killed, Millard and Smeek Test drove another truck. The seller from that meetup later told police about 2 things that stuck in his mind: an ambition tattoo and a small satchel-style bag. Police started checking that description, and tips pointed them to Dellen Millard. He had the tattoo, and he was known to carry a bag like that. With that information, investigators arrested Millard on May 11th. The very next day, police found Tim Bosma's truck hidden in a trailer connected to Millard Heir. Inside the trailer, investigators also found signs of human remains. They believed Tim's remains had been burned in an incinerator, one that had been moved to Millard's farm. On May 14th, law enforcement publicly confirmed Tim Bosma was dead.
But yeah, we thought we'd be doing better.
Okay, with 3 weeks, once you get the license, to wait 3 weeks for the business to start, that's not a long time.
No, it's not at all. It's also, we've spent a lot more than we thought we were going to spend, too.
Smish didn't get picked up right away. Police kept him under close surveillance for about a week, and by May 22nd, both men were in custody. But even then, the case didn't stop expanding. After the arrests, investigators started looking at another disappearance tied to Millard, Laura Babcock, his former lover. Laura and Millard had been involved for a while, but then Millard became romantically involved with another woman, Christina Nuga, and as things got messier, Millard ended up at the center of a heated love triangle, one that police believe turned deadly.
Okay. Is there much competition in the MRO business? Or?
Yeah, it's a small number of players, but the competition is fierce between them.
Does your dad own other properties?
She's got to own something else. There's Maple Gate.
Sorry?
The house we were at.
Yeah.
The hangar. I own Riverside, which is the Sixplex.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think he owns any other properties right now.
A vacation property or anything like that? Cottage?
No, yeah, he got property when his father died. He got his house and a vacation home out in Picton, and they were both sold.
How long would your grandfather die?
I honestly don't know. 6 years? I'm guessing.
I noticed some stuff, Robinson helicopter and other stuff. Are you a pilot?
I am.
Your dad was a pilot, right?
Yes, he was.
What pilot license? Are you a helicopter pilot?
Yeah, I'm a helicopter pilot, and I have that at the private license level, which is, do you know the different levels?
No.
There's one that's just, I forget the name of it, it's just for you and your friends. Then there's the private one, which would be for you and multiple friends, like up to 8 people, I think. And then there's the commercial level where you're working for a company and maybe you're flying tours somewhere, flying executives to an oil rig. That's the commercial one.
So you're good up to 8 people then?
I'm good up to 8 people, yeah.
Okay. And are you fly planes as well?
I'm not licensed for it anymore because I let that run out, but I know how.
Your dad was a pilot as well, right?
He was. Out of anybody I've seen, he had the most number of ratings on his license for different aircraft that he could fly.
Was he still flying?
No, he hasn't flown in a long time. I think his last check ride was when his father was still alive, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
When you went into your dad's room, okay, and you saw him there today, did you take anything out of the room or touch anything or move anything?
No.
On July 3rd, 2012, Laura Babcock and Millard's cell phones connected more than 100 times. Investigators say Millard picked her up at the Kipling subway station and drove her back to his home. About an hour later, Laura's phone activity stopped. Later that same day, Millard placed a rush order for a new mattress. He also took a photo of something wrapped in a tarp, and at some point, Laura's iPad was renamed to Mark's iPad, linking it to his accomplice, Mark Smeek. Smuch would later write and perform rap lyrics on that device, lyrics that investigators say hinted he killed Laura and got rid of her phone in a lake. Police also believed Millard may have been connected to the death of his own father, Wayne Millard. Wayne was found shot through the eye on November 29, 2012. Police initially ruled it a suicide, but phone records placed Delan with his father that day, and records also showed Delan had purchased the gun used in the death.
Did you see a note or anything in the room?
No.
Anywhere in the house?
I wasn't looking for one, but no, I didn't see a note.
You have a housekeeper?
Yes.
Her name?
Her name is Dina.
How often does Dina come?
Usually twice a day.
What time of the day would she come?
She would come late morning, say between 9 and 10 would be the first time she'd come. And then she'd probably come again around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, was that Dina that pulled up when I was talking to you and your mom today?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. And that was a little bit later. That was like...
I don't know what time.
That was like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we'd already been there.
After
for
9:30.
Okay.
Okay. And had she been there earlier in the day, do you know?
I noticed that his dinner was served on his desk, so she was probably there around 5.
So if she was there at 5, why would she come back at 9 or 9:30?
I don't know. Maybe just to clean up the dishes, but it's neither unusual or usual. It wouldn't surprise me that she'd come at 9 at the same time. She doesn't have a regular thing to do at that time, though. She's always come in and out of the house freely whenever she wants.
Okay, does she live nearby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she lives on Renforth, near Bloor.
I noticed a large keyboard in the front hallway where the front door is bolted.
A musical keyboard?
No. A board of keys.
Yes.
Are like...
Those are all vehicles at the Waterloo Airport.
They're all at the airport?
Yep.
Yeah,
except maybe my dad's van key. It might be on there.
Okay, so those vehicles weren't missing from the home then?
No.
Okay. So there's like, it looked like sports vehicles.
There's a mix. There's about, we have about 15 vehicles. We've got some little cars, a couple Jeeps, a couple trucks, a couple vans.
Jet skis and
Yeah.
where are they all stored at the hangar as well?
They're all at the hangar. Yeah, that's one of the items that I had to clean off the floor. It didn't look airport enough.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, just, did you know if your dad had a girlfriend or anyone involved in his life?
About a week ago, he asked me if I would be all right with him seeing a woman called Janet.
Have you ever met her?
No, I've never met her. I was told that she was a cousin-in-law that he's known his whole life.
Did he say how long he's been dating her? Or?
No, but we get calls frequently at night, and I'm quite sure that it's just her. And that's been going on for the last year.
Do you know where she lives?
No.
What did you tell your dad when he asked you?
I told him that so long as it didn't create any legal issues with me, I wanted him to go find his happiness.
And was it ever mentioned again since he asked you?
This past weekend, he disappeared for 2 days, and I think he was with her.
Anything else?
If your dad has a will.
I don't know for certain. I assume he does.
You mentioned a lawyer. Do you know who his lawyer is?
The firm is Heenan Blakely.
Is that H.H.?
H-E-E-N-A-N Blake L-E-Y. I think that's how I spell it. I'm not sure. And Harry Andrew is his lawyer's name.
Do you know where their office is? Or?
Somewhere in Toronto.
Do you know who the executor of your dad's estate is?
Does that mean who distributes his estate when he
Who would be in
dies?
charge of it? Yeah, would it be the lawyer or specific?
It'll probably be, I would assume it'll be his lawyer and well, I actually think a lot towards me. Not that there's really anything.
Not the beneficiary, but the
Yeah.
executor or whoever
Oh,
would be in charge, you know,
no, I don't know.
in the interim to settle the estate, pay the bills, and
I'd just be guessing. Maybe his lawyer, maybe myself. I really don't know. I'm sure at one point it was my mother. I don't know if that's still the case.
okay. Are you, do you have signing authority for the business? How about any of his personal affairs?
Signing authority?
Yeah, like joint on the house or...
There's one account that we're joint on. I've never actually used it though.
It was like an in-case count, in case something like this happened, and then you would have access to...
Maybe, yeah. I don't know what his thinking was. He was big on setting that up.
Okay.
Made a big deal about it. I used it.
All right. Okay, Trish.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. The time is now 2:18 a.m. It's still Friday, November 30th, 2012, and I'm ending this interview. Actually, before I end it, is there anything that you want to tell us that we might have forgotten to ask you, or anything that you remembered that you think that we should know? Or any little detail that you think might be able to help us?
I don't know if anything we've talked about has been helpful or not.
Okay. Okay, the time now is 2:19 a.m. and I'm ending this interview.
In the end, the jury found Millard guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder across separate trials. Delan Millard was sentenced to a minimum of 75 years in prison. He remains behind bars and won't be eligible for parole until he's 103 years old.